Okay. Oh, I feel so poetic today, you guys. Today we're going to talk about letting go of everything so you can surrender everything so more love can come in your life. Maybe it sounds boring, but let's see where the sun is. It's usually right behind me, but oh, look, it's just everything's so magical today. And the wind and that giant tree. And here's a little so I know this saying that was coming. There's so much in my heart right now. So welcome to another powerful video that can transform your life. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meier. I'm a psychologist in my day job, but I have a passion for being present and for bringing more love into my life and into your life, you know? And so there was this saying someone posted online that said, God is divine love. So just think of divine love. Divine love's better is better than my better. I loved it because I was meditating on a verse this morning in the Psalms, which is like a song. You know, that's why I'm so poetic right now, probably. I don't always meditate on a psalm. So it was like, the heavens are yours and the earth is yours, and by your establishing, you established all of it. That includes everything, you know? And so, on the one sense, let me teach you what John Butler taught me the other day. I was watching a YouTube video with John Butler, and it was so poignant and so profound, so beautiful. And it kind of weaves its way into that verse that I was just meditating on. Because just think, if I don't practice practice working out, this muscle never gets bigger, you know? If I don't practice quiet and silence and shutting out the outside world, then I don't know what that's like. I don't experience that in my everyday life. I'm just pulled this way and that way by habits, by whatever's the loudest in this world. And you know how many people are competing to get your money and your attention and your allegiance, your loyalty. So look at what you're loyal to, who you're loyal to. Because we're so blind in ourselves. We're blind. I was talking to a child yesterday. I'll call it child, someone below 18. And I said, you know such and such person, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you see his faults, right? He's like, yeah, I do. You know, they're really evident. And it was like, but he doesn't see those, does he? And he's like, no, he doesn't. I said, well, sometimes we build a world around trying to keep ourselves blind to those faults, you know? Because when we're in egotism, when we're in duality, we keep thinking we're hooked into this idea that we're not enough. So we keep trying to build an identity around we're enough. And that means we don't want to see our faults, because that will make us feel in the moment like we're not enough. I just felt like going back to the tree for a second. Look at that. How can any of us be not enough, you know? When we have that verse that I was just meditating on, it's like when we're established, the heavens are made by the divine love, and the earth is made by the divine love, and there's order behind all of it. So let me go back to what John Butler was saying, and hopefully I'll touch on what the child and I were talking about. We're all meant to be like children, you know, who are there in wonder, and they don't have pretense on them where they can't look at their faults and go, oh yeah, I did do that poorly, you know, I was destructive in that way. I don't want to be like that anymore. It hurts my feelings when people do that to me. I don't want to hurt other people. But don't let hurting people's feelings be your number one priority, because it can hurt people's feelings when you set a boundary. You know, when you say, I'm not going to bring you a 12-pack of beer anymore, or I'm not going to keep telling you you're perfect while you're walking on me, you know. That's a more subtle form of how we enable people in their wrongdoing and their doing that's not of love, in our own doing that's not of love. And so John Butler, right, he was saying, like, I was just picking up this bark. I don't know if that will come into play. I was just feeling it. It's usually not here. It's around here. There's a lot of leaves. There's a lot of bark right now. But so he was saying, like, we are in duality, but we come from the oneness. We come from divine love, let's say. And I always welcome all religions, you know, because it's like the sun shines on all of us, and the rain does too. Like, I feel like the graces of God's love and welcoming are meant to go to all people. And that welcoming will burn away whatever is not of divine love. It will just do that as you draw closer and closer to true love, to sincere love. But he was saying, so when you go into this silence, into this presence, you know, like Jesus said, when you pray, go into your inner room like this and shut the door. Go into your closet inside the room, you know. Go into your room and shut out all the senses. Be present in quietness, right? But it just, and I don't know if I talked about this in the last video, but it just struck me that, like, it was just 8:08 when I saw that. 8 is like this infinity right here. It reminds me of that. You know, it's like this everlasting love that goes on forever and ever. Mine with divine love and divine love with me, and then mine with all other people, because we're all in the mind womb of God. That's what I learned from Native American. I'm part Native American. So back to this oneness, back to this I'm wearing this today. It's like, it reminds me always, die to yourself and go back to the oneness. Die to whatever's keeping you from the oneness, whatever's keeping you from true love. And enter into that mystery, find out what that means. Don't just take my word for anything that I've ever said. Enter into the mystery yourself, find out. It says taste and see that the eternal one is good. You gotta find out for yourself if divine love is good. But if you never give it a chance, then you won't know. And so when we enter into this silence, what John Butler was saying is the silence is like the oneness. It's like the oneness we knew in heaven. I did this meditation once, and I don't know if I ought to have been doing it. At the time, I was led to that class. And but sometimes we're led somewhere, and I say it like that. It's like, you know, we're like, oh, Jesus, take the wheel, you know, like that song. And then it's like, oh, I see where you're going. Let me take that, you know, and we direct it. So sometimes I'm led somewhere, and then I'm just like, oh, you made me go down all of this and take every course this person has for me, or, and it's not necessarily that. But in this meditation, I felt like I was remembering what it was like as my soul before I came here. And I was like, no, don't send me back to earth. Don't send me. And I don't know what the mystery of that is, but it's just knowing that feeling, okay? I felt the feeling of oneness and not wanting to be separated from that. And so when John Butler was like, you can sit in the silence, and in that, it's like you're entering back into the oneness, that heaven that I knew. It was in a Ray Bradbury short film I saw too, about a girl who only saw the sun for one day. Well, she could only see it. She had seen it earlier in her life. I won't go into it because she got locked in this room and by these kids that were just playing a game. The one day the sun came every 5 years. It was horrible. It was like the worst nightmare ever. That's probably why I'm so drawn to the sun, This love that my heart knows so well. And there's my friend Maria's over there walking by. Can you dare, will you dare to be present, to let silence be here? To look like an idiot, My eyes hurt today because they had so much salt, because I cried for like 3 hours yesterday, because someone that I love dearly, that's connected to me, let's say by family, thought I was an idiot and thought I have no wisdom to offer, and which is fine. People are allowed to think that, What would you think if there had never been like a flood and you saw Noah building an ark, in the middle of the desert for years? I don't remember how many years it took him. I was talking about this last time. Or Van Gogh, who kept painting and painting all of those paintings that are worth millions of dollars now that no one would buy back then, Or my friend Elliot Smith, I loved him so much. I still love him, but it's just like, he has this lyric that's like, nobody knows what he's doing, still hanging around. Can't make a sound. Like still hanging, like dying to himself. And hanging his paintings up, like Van Gogh. There's a poem that was beginning in my heart today, after all the tears yesterday. I was thinking, don't worry, it's like 3 lines. It's not going to be long here. Because I remember in the Lord of the Rings books, as soon as Bilbo would start saying a poem, everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm out of here. But he would give them lots of wine ahead of time at the parties at his 111th birthday. But it was like, didn't my heart break? My heart broke every time you chose someone else instead of me. My heart broke every time you chose something else instead of me. But the divine love took me to a place, my heart, within my heart, a place only meant for love. For the divine love. I was just having this sense of like, You know, maybe my heart was attached in the wrong way to people or things or whatever, you know. Maybe I was meant already, but I didn't know yet. So we don't know these things until we learn them, you know. We don't see how blind we are until we're given the revelation, until we seek wisdom. It says seek wisdom like you're seeking for gold. So I was getting this sense like it was an intimacy thing, like God into me sees intimacy. God was letting me see the heart of God, of divine love that is broken, like my heart felt broken when we keep choosing lesser things, filling ourselves up with candy, with temporary highs, when we could be back in the oneness, in the silence of knowing how loved we are and forgiven, and how little control we have, how the things that we keep trying to use to get us high are controlling us, you know. It's like if I did worship the sun and it was a cloudy day, I would have a horrible time, right? But it was like I sang this song the other day on my skates. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day when it's cold outside. There's a hawk. I've got the month of May. I don't know if you can see it. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? And it goes, my girl, you know. But Elliot and I had this whole mixtape about the girl longing songs and how the girl just represented divine love, union with divine love. So I was going to say, yeah, if I worshipped just the sun, then I would have a horrible day every time it's cloudy, you know, every time it's blocked. But if I worship, and we're meant to worship and be devoted, that's just our nature. Our hearts are meant to open up and expand, you know. We're meant to have the X and the O, die to what is less than, you know. And it is like a cross. You let die, you willingly choose to let die anything that's less than, so that, you know, like Bruce Lee says, you must empty your hand so that something better can come into it. You can't have it when your hand's like this. Like, I can't offer my love to someone whose hand is full, running after something else or someone else. I can't. It's disrespectful of myself to do that. And so instead of, and like, I can appreciate the sun and I can welcome the sun's rays on my body and on crops and on the food that I eat and on those that I love, you know, to warm us in cold days and to give us light when we're in darkness. But the divine love is the one that established the heavens and the earth. Yours are the heavens and the earth, and all that therein is, you have established it. And so there's rules, there's ways this earth is operated with love and with intelligence. And when we go against that intelligence, it's like we're blocking out the sun, beyond the sun. We're blocking out that heart of ours that's within the heart, that's meant to be all God's, all divine loves. I know these might just sound like weird words, but I know they do. I'm just seeing Pinocchio, you know? What if Pinocchio, who was this wooden puppet, there's so much wisdom in fairy stories, who was this wooden puppet, kept having this idea, I could be a real boy. I could be a real boy. You know, and if Geppetto was told someday he'll be a real boy, you know, and I keep puffing myself up, doing my dance and thinking this is how I make myself a real boy, a real girl. And it's like, nope, it's not that way. It's this way. Find out the true way. Find out how God's better is better than my better. Divine love's better. Wisdom's better. Our Father, Mother, our Creator who art in heaven, who does all the art of heaven and did all the art here on this earth. Look at this tiny, tiny flower. There it is. That's how little it is. When you're not present, you don't see that. When you're not present, we're so running around trying to be the best wooden puppet we could possibly be when we could be real. We could be made out of flesh and bones and heart, a heart full of love, like the sun that has divine love flowing through us. I wish you so much love. Watch any and all of my videos. I'm always trying to find this and know this and give this and share this and love. So feel free to comment and share and participate and all that. Thanks so much for being here. I honor your presence.